Merry Christmas Eve. Hopefully you are celebrating and you're able to get to a church service today, a great church service with some candles and some singing, or however you celebrate the holidays. Hopefully you're having a great day, but we do have updates coming from you guys, and I don't want to hold those up. So let's keep these reports flowing to you. As you're sending them in, we'll make sure we keep sending them out to you guys. And welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and even in this holiday season, we are seeing shortages and seeing issues out there. Without further ado, let's jump right in. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. So if you have retirement accounts that you want to get some more information about what you can do with your IRA or 401k here in the U.S., you'll be able to link up to Jonathan and his team at Genesis Gold Group at the end of the video. All right, getting a lot more reports of layoffs going to happen either the first of this coming month, or we're going to be seeing already kind of some stuff percolating right now, but people are starting to get a lot of notices that first quarter 2024, there are going to be layoffs. This particular report is 100 workers laid off first quarter 2024 and full closure of the plant in July. That's Wabco here in the Pennsylvania area. Also in 2024, we're going to be seeing a lot of energy rates. We're going to be seeing price hikes in electricity prices, specifically here in California. Energy rates will be 150% higher versus the national average. Currently, California, we pay 78% more than the U.S. average for energy. Newsom has added another $100 to $150 equity fee per month for those who are not qualified for subsidies. And we see that all over the place where subsidies are being used more and more. We're seeing, I believe it was 2 out of 5 people who are here illegally are now on being supported by welfare. And I worked for a call center a number of years back. That was basically when people get shut-off notices from the electric companies. And we would keep referring these people over to welfare, basically. And what people don't know is, at least in the state of Pennsylvania, and this is probably true for a lot of other states, tacked onto your electric bill is a bunch of money that's going to a fund that is going to pay electric bills of people who are struggling to pay their electric bill, which sounds good in principle, but it means that it's just more and more taxes upon those who are not getting subsidies to subsidize those who are either not working or struggling. And that's going on tremendously in California as well. 150% more than the rest of the country. Crazy. Shirley says Blue Ridge Beef has issued a voluntary recall of Blue Ridge Beef Kitten Grind, and also Blue Ridge Kitten Mix and Blue Ridge Beef Puppy Mix. So we're talking about animal feed, and don't believe it, friends. There are absolutely no kittens in the kitten grind, and no kittens in the kitten mix. No puppies either, but there is a salmonella and listeria contamination. And so if you have any of those brands, pet feed, you might want to check to make sure that it's not covered by these recalls. This is from a viewer in Michigan. Your report about limited bank cash is happening here in Michigan. I live in a small town in central Michigan, and Thursday I went to my bank to withdraw a few $1,000s and to have cash on hand in case of a calamity. The teller said they were dangerously low on cash, so I reduced my withdrawal amount. A similar event occurred the next day when my son went to his bank to cash a work check, and they hesitated until he told them the amount, which was around $1,000. I have never seen this before, and twice in 2 days speaks to what you have been reporting. That's right. I mean, you guys are sharing what you guys are experiencing and seeing out there, so we're not making stuff up here. We're not fear-mongering. We're not, conjuring up things that could happen or whatever. We're talking about what's actually happening on these updates. Cynthia says, those of us who have been watching you and a few other channels out there on preparing are very aware of what is about to happen. It will be known as the greatest depression ever. 6 boxes of mac and cheese with a few cases of water and 20 pounds of rice will not float you through this thing. With the food shortages and the potential for power outages, just so many things that we're looking at on the horizon, probably not going to get you through it. I think because of how our government handled the cough cough and other situations, people are exhausted and have a hard time believing us when we tell them these things. Start saving today by stopping eating out and making your own coffee at home. Those are definitely great ways to save up some money, and you don't need a whole lot of money, right? A lot of the stuff that we talk about on this channel isn't about spending lots of money. If you don't want to spend any time, you don't want to think about it, and you just want somebody else to fix it for you, yeah, you can throw money at things and have the problems solved for you. But a lot of the stuff can be done bootstrap-wise. You can put some labor in, do some research, and you can save a ton of money. And you can, for relatively cheap, you can be stocked up. Update, coffee in Birmingham, Alabama has risen greatly. $18 now for coffee, and it's unsightly. This is at the local Walmart. Also, rice is scarce and some dried beans you can't even find, like large lima beans. Ben in Central Texas. A relative in a senior corporate position didn't get their Christmas bonus, several $1,000s worth. And we're hearing a lot of people not getting bonuses this year, and they say, the machine shop I work at just announced they were cutting hours from 40 hours a week to 32 hours a week. The neighboring machine shop has been half-staffed and cut hours for a while now. So a lot of machining out there being pulled back, manufacturing jobs pulling back, and a lot of layoffs happening, as we just mentioned. Scott says, Steve, Kazakhstan has already begun supplying China with uranium and has inked a long-term deal this year, so the Kazakhs already have a better replacement customer. Uranium that will move by land, right over Kazakhstan, right over the border into China, on the new Silk Road, as opposed to maritime shipping, which continues to degrade due to conflicts, right? We're seeing that Russia and Kazakhstan are threatening to withhold uranium from the United States, which is going to make it really hard to run our reactors and to build all those weapons that we use to defend other people from freedom and stuff, right? Asgard says, northeastern Arizona. Went to Walmart yesterday, no dozen egg packs and only one crate of 18 count all the way in the back where no one could get at them without moving all the empty crates. It was $4.42 for them, no heavy cream at all, no light corn syrup, and only 2 dark Caro at twice the price of a great value. Patty in Olympia, Washington. And 2 of my Rite Aids closest to me have completely closed down. I had to find another further, and they didn't have what I need, and said that they didn't know when my meds would come in. I've even called a family-owned pharmacy to see if they could get what I needed, and got the same answer. No, and don't know when they'll get my meds. It's getting scary. If you have medications that you absolutely need, you might want to be reaching out to some third party like Jace Medical to see if you can get stocked up on those things. I'll pin that comment down below. A lot of you have used Jace and it's worked really well for you. And the prices are actually quite reasonable. Now, you can't use insurance on it. Now, that's the big downside. That's the big downside. But if it's relatively affordable medications and stuff like that, and that's all about brands and generics and all that kind of stuff like that. It's hard to keep track of all that. Joanne says, my dad worked on Wall Street during the Great Depression. He saw people jumping out of windows when they lost everything. I've never played the market, but when I had extra money, I saved and bought land. 3 years ago, I began stockpiling food and cleaning products, much thanks to Steve's advice, and I'm sure other channels out there, right? I still buy some items, but today's prices have doubled. Those canned items will last a lot of years, and I added those canned goods to my garden. I'm adding to my canned goods from my garden. A friend has has turned his spare bedroom into what looks like a grocery store. He's been stockpiling for his family for nearly 5 years. We all thought he was crazy, but we were wrong. KEG in Southwest Ohio. Thank you guys all for these updates, by the way. I know a lot of you find these to be super useful, so I appreciate all of you who do send in updates. To do that, just use the word update on any comment on this channel that gets it to the right place and give some sort of geographical location. Try to stay away from prices because that's not super useful for everybody. But what's missing, what may be missing in the future if you see stuff, especially if you have conversations with the managers, store people, or at your workplace, people in shipping and that type of thing. Extremely useful information. KEG in Southwest Ohio. My last few trips to the grocery store, the regular eggs were wiped out. I asked a worker last night what the deal is, and he said they fully stock every day, and people are buying every last carton. I believe people can't afford meat, and they're switching to eggs for a protein source. But also remember, a lot of these places, they restock multiple times during the day with eggs, right? So they may stock up fully at the beginning of the day, but they may not be having those midday restocks like they usually do. And you got to take what workers say with a grain of salt. Managers have a better grasp on what's going on. A lot of times workers don't quite fully grasp what's happening outside their sphere of influence. They know when they stock the store shelves, or if it's not their job to stock the shelves, they may not understand how the stocking system works. Especially people in the back who are seeing the shipments coming in, and people who are in charge of stocking shelves have a better idea. But we are hearing that there are less eggs out there, but definitely also seeing people are picking up their purchasing habits right now because they are because they know that there are shortages on eggs. Jay says Sam's Club in Trinity off of Trouble Creek in Florida, they're now selling MREs. There were about 9 buckets in the regular food aisle. We're seeing more places starting to have long-term food storage, long-term foods out there. We're seeing kind of prepper pieces of their aisles set up with like number 10 cans and food buckets and stuff like that. You're seeing that at more Walmarts. So it does make it a little easier to stock up that way. God's Plassing says, 2 years ago, our trash bin charge was $80 per month. Last year, it went up to $105. I just got a notice that our bill will now be $135 per month. Even using Common Core, I can't figure out how that is only an inflation rate of 3.1%. You and me both. You and me, right? We're all struggling to understand this Common Core math, but we're seeing that things are speeding up. Inflation is getting out of control. While it may not be impacting certain categories, right now oil prices are surprisingly low. We have a major conflict in the Red Sea, but yet somehow oil prices are down. But that will probably not last much longer. Used car prices are dropping right now, and they're using that to counteract against food prices and saying, well, you know, because overall prices are not going up. And if you can manipulate the numbers like that, yeah, you can make them say whatever you want them to say. But I don't know about you, but I don't buy a car every month, but I do buy food every week. And that is something that impacts the bottom line way more. Utilities, food, I don't care how much TVs cost. I don't care how much used cars cost most of the time, right? It is these big things that we have to buy constantly that are really impacting our lives. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining us. If you want to check out another video from the channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.